Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Casey. Nice to see your
Hi.
face.
Yeah, same to you.
Wow. Here we all
Hi,
come.
Rachel. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi,
Ellie.
good to meet you too, Casey.
Putting faces to names. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Exactly.
My phone.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Happy afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon. Oh, it looks like it's John and Marlene. They're the mysterious owner. We're like, I wonder who owner is. Your screen
But
name.
then we have a second owner.
We do. Let's see. Where is, oh, yes, we do. So maybe that's something we can address as we get started. And I think several more people should be joining us hopefully in the next few minutes. So how about we take this opportunity to rename ourselves, and we do that. Hopefully you're on a computer. If you aren't, you're on a different device, it might be a little bit different, but what you can do is take your mouse, hover over your own image, and then an ellipsis, 3 dots shows up in the right-hand corner. And you click on that and then find the rename option in that menu, that pop-up menu that comes up, hit rename, and then you're able to type in whatever you'd like, which is what I'm hoping you'll do.
I don't know how to make this work.
We can help you there in a second there. Who is that? Melissa.
I think that was Melissa. Her camera's not working.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You can troubleshoot. So what I'd love you to do is put your first names or whatever you'd like to be called, and then the town in which you live. So I am Shannon in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We've got 2 other PMD Alliance staffers with us. We have Rachel in Phoenix and Kelly in Nashville, Tennessee. We're all over the place. And then most of you are calling in from the Pittsburgh area. We might have somebody from Indiana joining us today. So Melissa, let's see here. It looks like
the malfunction button looks like it went away.
Yeah, that's a good
I hit
sign.
something. I don't know what I did though.
Let's see.
I'm new to Zoom, so forgive me.
I am going to see if I can, let's see. Okay, stop video. I was going to see if I could ask to start video, but I don't see that as an option. So maybe your camera is not activated, Melissa. And if that's the case, we can troubleshoot that between today and tomorrow. We might not get to that today.
Okay.
So we'll just enjoy hearing your voice. Anyone else having issues with your camera? I see that, I think is it Phyllis Hinkle? PJ Hinkle, are you there? Can you, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Hopefully you can hear us. And then Liz in Pittsburgh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hi.
Hi,
Great.
Liz.
Excellent. It's just when we don't see you, we're not quite sure if you're with us or if you're multitasking or out of the room or something like that. So
Yeah, I'm here. My camera's just not working today.
got it. Okay. Well, thank you, Liz. Thank you. Phyllis, were you able to say hello?
Okay, must be okay.
She's unmuted.
She's
Hello,
unmuted.
Phyllis.
How about John Mazer?
I just unmuted, and so I hope you can hear me. And I have 2 cameras. I can't get either of them up.
Oh, goodness.
So I'll keep playing with it.
Okay, let me see if I can do anything from my end. Doesn't look like I can. Oh, I can say ask to start video. So let me see if that helps on your end. Okay, hi, Debbie. I see you. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so looks like most of us are here. Not everybody has signed in yet, but we are going to go ahead and get started since time goes so quickly. I just want to begin by welcoming you all. Thank you for coming. really appreciate you spending your Thursday and Friday with us to learn and to just visit with one another. This is such an interesting time that we find ourselves in. And I think it's really important for us to communicate and connect with one another, get ideas, and learn how we can help our support group members during this time. So I'm going to start by just introducing myself. So my name is Shannon Elliott. And I live in Santa Fe, as I've typed in my little screen name there. And I work for PMD Alliance as the manager of our InSync network. So our InSync network is a group of support group leaders from across the country. And so I basically help support group leaders with training and with resources and connecting with one another. And I'll go ahead and pass it on over to Rachel, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hello, everybody. I am Rachel Steinberg, and I am Community Network Manager here at PMD Alliance. And very thrilled to have the folks that I spoke to on this call, and glad that I made the connections I made. And I will be sort of Shannon's sidekick throughout the next 2 days. So looking forward to getting to know everybody better, and me as well. So I'll pass it on to Kelly.
Well, hello, everybody. I like that. You'll be the sidekick, so I'll be the behind kick to both of you. I'm the online programs coordinator here at PMD Alliance, and I will be doing kind of the back end, helping some of you get situated with the Zoom, mute, unmute, camera, that sort of stuff, and just, making sure that things run as well as they can. Sometimes Zoom, there's challenges, right? So we just work with it and continue on.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm very grateful for your support today. And just for anyone who's having issues, you can private chat with Kelly, and she'll be able to hopefully help you with that as we go through the workshop. So I'm just going to start to share my screen. Hopefully you can see my slide that's showing up. And so, yes, just want to welcome everybody again. This is our second virtual InSync workshop, because guess what? We're still in COVID. Wow. Who could have thunk that we would be here still online? We had hoped to meet in person. That was our plan. And it just didn't turn out that way. So we want to make sure and keep everybody safe, but we still want to get together, provide information, connect, and all of these things. So thank you for coming. I also wanted just to personally thank Casey for helping to make this happen in collaboration with the Parkinson Foundation of Western Pennsylvania. Really appreciate the partnership with that organization. I get your emails all the time, and lots of awesome programs going on. So very impressed with that. We have our 2-day workshop. So today is 2 to 5 p.m. and tomorrow is 9 to noon. It's 3-hour chunks. So I just want to invite everybody to do what you need to do. It's a long time. If you need to stand up, if you need to get a glass of water, just stretch your body, go to the bathroom, just do whatever you need to do. We're just going to keep plowing through and give you little breaks here and there, but just please feel free to take care of yourselves because it's not fun sitting in a chair for 3 hours and at a stretch. So I sent an email quite late last night, and I apologize for that. I hope everyone got the preparation email. I think some of you, I don't have your names on my registration list. And so maybe you didn't go through our website and actually register. So you might not have gotten that preparation email. So if you could let us know if you don't have that, that would be great. And that way I can do that between now and tomorrow, and you can have those preparation or the print materials rather, because sometimes the print on the slides that I'm going to be showing is so small that it's actually helpful to have it in front of your face, the hard copy, and you can read it better. So that's why we like to have you print things. And so, yes, I have my sparkling water here. So just encourage everybody to stay nice and hydrated and take breaks as necessary. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. I'd like to start by going through the collaboration agreements is what we like to call them. So this slide is pointing out the expectations of all of us as we work through the workshop together, just to make sure the interactions are really respectful and productive, and just to get everybody on the same page. So, and I'd like to just mention here that the things that I'm doing with you, the way that I'm leading this workshop, these are things that you can always think about in how you are leading your support group. Okay, so you can mimic some of these strategies. So just feel free to steal anything that you find helpful. So collaboration agreements, it's a good way to start off a meeting. So muting your mic when necessary. So we love to have everybody speak and participate. This is very engaging workshop. We don't want it just to be silence and webinar style, but just in case you have that background noise, go ahead and mute your mic when necessary. Just a reminder to please listen deeply to one another when we're all sharing, just to make sure that everyone feels heard. And then I love this yes and. I don't know if you've seen that before, but that is riffing off of the improv acting world. So instead of saying no or but, it's saying, yes, I hear you. And I also have an idea, and I'm saying and. So yes, and building on other people's ideas as we work together in our groups. Moving with intention. I love my roller skater here. So it's crazy how fast these workshops fly. So just to be mindful of when you're sharing, just to be as succinct as possible, getting your ideas out, but just helping us move along with intention. And then last but not least, being patient with technology because of Zoom and because of internet and Wi-Fi and all those things. Things might happen, and just to please be patient with that. Communicate with us when you're having issues, and please be patient with us as the operators, because we make mistakes, meaning me. That happens all the time. So it's always exciting, isn't it? And so before we go further, I think it was Melissa who mentioned this was her first time on Zoom. Is anyone else, if you could just raise your hand, is this your first time on Zoom? And if so, I'll need to maybe orient us a little bit more. Okay, it looks like most of us have experience, which is great. So Melissa, if you're ever having issues, just go ahead and unmute, or you can use the chat feature to ask questions if you're having any issues.
Or Kelly's trying to help me right now fix it. So
Oh, perfect.
see what we
See,
can
all
do.
this behind the scenes that I don't even know is happening. And that's another note. If you're ever running your support groups on Zoom, make sure you have a tech backup person, have a partner who can help you, because it's so hard to multitask and do a million things at the same time. I see John and Marlene have unmuted. Do you have something to add?
No, we were just testing.
Testing. 1, 2, it worked.
We normally use an iPad for Zoom meetings, and today, since it's a longer meeting, we thought we'd use the PC. So I'm just trying to get familiar a little bit.
Excellent.
Hopefully I won't hold you up.
No, not at all. Well, it worked. I saw that you unmuted and we can hear you and your camera's good. So I think we're off to a good start. All right, everybody, let's keep on moving here. All right, so let's get in sync, why don't we? So let's go ahead and ask that question. What does it really mean to be in sync? And why is the support group leader network called in sync? That's what I asked when I joined PMD Alliance. And so there are actually many ways that we can be in sync. And I'd like to go through those as we start our workshop. So you can be in sync with your peers. So in sync with all the people here in the Zoom room with us and, your colleagues, basically. You can be in sync with your group members. So it's those folks who are looking to you for resources and support and reliable information. you can be in sync with the larger movement disorder community. So that's where you as a support group leader can find resources and make connections in, nationally and even internationally at this point, which is really cool. You can be in sync with your loved ones. So you might have someone right next to you or someone across the country who might be a family member or friend. So being in sync with your loved ones who are going along this journey with you with a movement disorder. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is being in sync with yourself, right? So having that confidence and self-assurance, knowing that you're embodying your role as a support group leader in the best way that you can with your special talents and abilities. Okay, so I just want to, again, welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm excited for us to get in sync together. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And for those of you who I have not met before, a little word of warning. I come from a dance background. So I started working in the Parkinson's world by teaching Dance for Parkinson's classes here in Santa Fe. My whole background, prior careers in dance. And so I would like to take this opportunity to not only be in sync with each other in our minds, but also in our bodies. So I just want to do a little bit of a movement break. We all know how important movement is, exercise for Parkinson's and other movement disorders. So I just want to take this just a few minutes to enjoy a little exercise, a little activity. So if you have the opportunity to turn on your camera, that would be great so that we can see one another. What I'm going to do is lead us in an exercise called mirroring. So it's as if you're looking into a mirror, and you might have done this with me last year if you were part of last year's online workshop that we had, but I'm going to up the ante a little bit. So it's not going to be just mirroring. We're going to have a theme and we're going to put some music to it this year. So let me turn on my speaker to begin with. And then what I'm going to do is find a little space. I'm just going to scoot myself away from the desk just a little bit. And I'd like you to do the same. If you have any space around you, so you don't hit your neighbor, you don't knock over a lamp or a glass of water, just so you have a little bit of an ability to move your arms. It's really just going to be upper body that we're working with right now. And that way we can get a little practice in. And then Kelly, if you could spotlight me, that would be fantastic. All right, I'm going to turn on my original sound. Okay, so can everyone see me okay? Yeah? All right, so let's do a little bit of an introduction to mirroring. So what I'd like you to do is sit nice and tall in your chair and feel like your pelvis is nice and heavy, like a stone carved bowl. And it's just sitting nice and heavy in your chair, and then you're pulling up and out of that heavy bowl, like a light feather or a string from the top of your head to the ceiling. And so you have that long, nice spine and you can breathe nice and easily. All right, so I'm going to start moving. And what I want you to do is to emulate my movement as specifically as possible. I'm not going to use any words, so just go ahead and follow my lead. Beautiful. Okay, the few little squares that I can see, it looks like everyone is seeing me and following right along. Excellent job. Now, okay, we are going to add on a little bit of a theme today. So one of my favorite things to do is to spend time in nature. I love to hike and be outside. And so I want us to draw some inspiration from some of our favorite elements of nature. So think about what you like to look at, what you like to feel, whether it's grass on your feet or the sunlight on your face, what you like to smell when you're outdoors. And so have that be the inspiration for our movement. So I'm going to begin. I'm going to put some music on, and then I'll have you follow, and that'll be the theme of nature. And then I'm going to have some volunteers. I'm going to ask for some volunteers to take turns in being the leader in this exercise. So really honing in and watching what I'm doing and trying to mimic me or mirror me as closely as possible. So let me go ahead and turn on this music and let us enjoy some movement together. Can you hear that? All right. To have a volunteer. Can you raise your hand if you'd like to lead us? Roger. Let's spotlight Roger. Lovely. All right, one more volunteer. Another brave volunteer. Yay, Norma. Let's spotlight Norma. So much. That was gorgeous. Wow, I love this energy ball thing. We'll have to ask you what that was about. All right, thank you, Roger and Norma, for volunteering. So this is a little tip or trick in Zoom. So if someone is spotlighted in the meeting, even if they are taken out of spotlight, it's still going to remain on speaker view. So you might still see Norma, you might see me large, and to get back to the Brady Bunch screen, what you need to do is take your Zoom mouse and go over to the top right hand corner to view, click on that and go to gallery. And that's going to bring you back to the Brady Bunch. Do we all see each other again? Yeah. Okay, good. Can I have anyone volunteer to let us know how that exercise felt? Did any thoughts come to mind? Any feelings? Any response at all? Go ahead and unmute yourself. Roger, I see that
Roger.
yeah.
It made me think I was in the woods with you.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
It
I
looked like
love
you were
it.
looking, it looked like you were looking for something, Roger.
And
To
listen.
see how many people were following.
Ah,
Multitasking. Love that. Good. Anyone else? Anyone else have any thoughts about that exercise? Alan.
Hey, good to see
Hi.
you all.
You
It's
too.
very peaceful and relaxing.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe the music helped with that, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
And if it was a different song, if it was maybe upbeat and dynamic, it would have a very different effect, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I love using music to affect a mood, especially in an event or a group. Marlene.
Besides the relaxing emotional feeling, it made my whole body stretch and I feel taller.
Wonderful. Yes. Yes. It's almost that nature theme almost helps us to think of growing or moving upward away from the earth. I totally agree. Any other thoughts on what it felt like to watch one another?
I'd like to just say that it's really such a pleasure to do this exercise because your brain can turn off. You know, the person who's doing the movements, we're following, that person's brain has to be working, I think, but everybody else who's just following along gets to sort of release everything that's going on in their brain and concentrate on what's happening on the screen in front of them. And I love that effect. I love that, just being able to not have any thoughts going through my head while I'm following you on the screen.
Thanks for that, Rachel. Yeah, I think the connection with other people is on a different plane. We're not talking, it's not concepts, it's almost meditative. So with that, I'm going to share I see one more hand.
I just wanted to comment, as I was doing it,
Norma.
I felt like I was floating through water. So
I felt
was in
that
the
way
ocean.
too.
Wow.
Following you. It was as if we were moving through water. Yeah, it was this beautiful, ethereal kind of moment. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, there are several benefits of doing an exercise like this. And again, this is something that I am leading with you so that you could potentially do something with your groups. And so the benefits of mirroring, it's used in a lot of different ways in dance therapy and other ways of connecting people together. So it builds presence. So you have to be really here, don't you? You can't be thinking about something else and participating in mirroring. And then it really brings you into more awareness of nonverbal cues. And we know that with Parkinson's and with movement disorders, sometimes it's hard to read facial expressions, isn't it? And so we really have to hone in and pay attention. And it can enhance emotional understanding and empathy for one another, which is really cool. I loved how Roger's expression was different than Norma's, and so we got a little glimpse into their minds and into their spirits, if you will. It also encourages cooperation, concentration. You have to really watch, creativity, especially for the person leading, and then using both sides of the brain at the same time, which we know is a really good thing to do. So with that, I just want to see show of hands. Who might feel comfortable leading a mirroring exercise like this with your group? Casey, Norma, yeah, John and Marlene. It looks like Alex, I can't see your faces too well. There might be two people in that room, but I saw a hand go up, so that's good. That's good. And that's what I'd like to encourage is, you don't have to be a professional dancer in order to lead an exercise like this. It's really just asking people to share and express with one another. Okay, so with that, I am going to pass it on over to Rachel and just talk about a little bit about PMD and our ecosystem, which is this diagram here. And before we do that, can I have a show of hands of who is brand new to PMD Alliance? You don't know anything about us. Okay, so just a couple of you. Oh, 3 of you. Okay, great. Thank you.
Excellent. So Parkinson and Movement Disorder Alliance is essentially an organization that focuses on the ecosystem of the person with the disease. So as you can see in the middle of the page, you've got the person with the movement disorder. Surrounding that person, you have their family network, their companion network, their medical network, community therapy networks. And basically, our goal in this organization is to amp up and really help out those networks that surround the person with the disease so that that person essentially gets lifted up and can live a more fuller life because of their surrounding networks that are being educated and supported. And you know, this InSync program is a big program from our community network where we really focus on the support group leaders, because we know that the support group leaders have so many connections with the Parkinson's folks in their community. And so how better to help the Parkinson's people in that community to then help the support group leaders. So by sort of boosting up all of these networks that surround that person, we boost up that person in the middle. So I am a facilitator for our care partner and adult children support group through our own organization, PMD Alliance. So I'm part of the family network, and I see the importance of having the support and providing all of the resources and information to all of these different networks around that person. And so I guess if you learn anything about PMD Alliance is we're boosting up everybody around the person with the disease in order to boost up the person with the disease.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much, Rachel. Yeah, so I just love this diagram. It really just shows our unique mission, and that's why we are here with you today, and that's why we have workshops with support group leaders all across the country. Moving forward, I would love to hear from you all now. So I would love to do just a little bit of a poll. And so we like to do polls to show you that polls are actually, it's part of the Zoom application. It's something that you're able to utilize as a support group leader. But it's also a way to help you get to know one another, who else is in the room with you, depending on how they answer questions. So I am going to stop my share and pull up this little poll here. And I'm going to launch that. There are only 3 questions. All right, so is everyone seeing a poll on their screen? The first question is, what do you want to prioritize in your support group meetings moving forward? So we're starting to get you to hone in on things that are important to you moving forward, because our world has definitely changed. So what does that mean for you as a support group leader? So is educational content really important? Guest speakers? Or emotional support and sharing? A combination of above? Yeah. And then the second question, how important is it that your group members know each other? Really important, kind of important, or not that important? It's more about education. And then the last question here is, what makes your group gel? Sharing refreshments, the casual chit chat before and after meetings, or deep discussions during the meeting, and social activities as well. That's another option there. So it looks like a few people, yeah, 4 out of 13. If anyone's having issues, I know if you're on a different kind of device, it might be harder to do a poll if you're not on a regular computer. Excellent. So about half of us have gotten through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just find this really interesting to see where we're all focusing.
Melissa's camera's working.
Oh my gosh, there she
Yay!
is.
You're real.
Wonderful. It looks like the troubleshooting with Kelly worked. Yay, good
Kelly.
job. Awesome. Okay, so we have most people. We just have a couple of people who haven't finished. Oh wait, one more. I don't know who it is. Last person. Go ahead and finish up. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and we can look at the results together. All right, so first question. It's a combo of the above. Prioritizing the future is education, guest speakers, and emotional support. It looks like 2 people are really focusing on the emotional support, which is good. Question number 2, yep, it is important for the group members to know one another. So it's about engagement, connection. Awesome. I love that answer, these answers here. And then the third question, what makes your group gel? So it's kind of spread through those. The casual interactions and deep discussions are obviously most important, sharing refreshments a little bit, and then the social activities. So, okay, so that kind of gives us a sense of where we're all coming from as we're moving forward into the workshop, and we can definitely learn from one another because we have these different perspectives. Okay, wonderful. As we move forward, I am going to share my slideshow again. All right, I have about 500 windows open. There we are. Okay, so just a quick look at our agenda for today, tomorrow. So we're talking about resilience during this very challenging time and how to cultivate wellness within our support groups in this thing we call a new normal, whatever that means. So we're going to be doing introductions of you all in just a moment. We're going to be talking about the importance of connection and moving from a fear space into a growth space today. We're going to do a fun activity with Rachel, and we're also going to be doing a round table. We have some guests coming on, our sponsor, our partners from your area, the pharmaceutical reps. We're going to be doing a round table discussion in breakout rooms together today. Tomorrow, we're looking at a model of multidimensional health, which I think you'll find really interesting. I loved this model, and I am excited to share it with you. We have another roundtable with different guests tomorrow, and then we're going to talk about how to make your support group meetings more engaging. And so that can apply to both online, on Zoom, and also in person. And I'm just curious, as we get started here, can you raise your hand if you are already back in person? Well, okay, wow. Yes, and maybe it's gone in and out a little bit. We can find out. It's just so crazy. You think we have it figured out, and then no, it changes the next week. So that's the name of the game, flexibility and adapting. And so, yes, that's going to be kind of the bottom line here as we go through our workshops. So moving forward here. So we are going to be doing some introductions, and I like to call them popcorn introductions. So we're going to be popcorning from one person to another. So if I start, I'll do my little blurb, and then I'm going to pick someone, and then that person will do their introduction, pop it over to somebody else. So we want to do this quickly. And so it is introduce yourself in 2 breaths. Yes, so you have to take deep breath in and then get all the information out, and then you have 2 breaths to do it in. So I will model. I'm going to say my name and city, what my role is, and one thing that I'm excited about in life, whether it's my personal life or whether it's about support groups. So here I go. So I am Shannon. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I am the manager of the InSync network at PMD Alliance. And one thing that I'm super excited about is the fall weather. We just got some lovely temperatures changing this week. So excited about that. Popping it over to Rachel.
Shoot, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm Rachel, and I am in Phoenix, and I facilitate our care partner and adult children support group, along with multiple other support groups that we have on our website. Our flying solo group for folks that are living alone with the disease. Our young onset group for folks that were diagnosed younger. And then our resilience group that we have every Tuesday for everybody. And one thing I'm really excited about is this Phoenix weather changing, and to be able to go outside and get some exercise outside in the world again. Summertime is kind of like the East Coast winter time.
Nice.
We get lazy in the summer here. On to Kelly.
Hello. My name is Kelly. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and I am also excited for fall. I feel like, did the weather just change like for everybody in the last day or two? Because yes, like the cooler temperatures just rolled in and it is super wonderful. Let me popcorn it over to Debbie.
I'm Debbie. I'm from Blairsville, Pennsylvania. I belong to the Indiana County Parkinson's group. Denise Packer's our leader. And I'm excited because I'm learning to play pickleball.
Yay, awesome. Thanks, Debbie. Popcorn it to somebody.
Let me see, Denise.
I knew you were going to do that. I'm Denise Packer. This is Gingy Allshouse with me, and we are kind of a trio that run the Indiana, Pennsylvania group. And I get a lot of support from these 2 ladies because it is sometimes a little challenging to always be there. So I am excited. We've had a cold front come in. It's been great. And I'm also excited about learning some additional things to support to help us facilitate our support group.
Wonderful. Welcome to you too. And popcorn.
Who do you popcorn it to?
Oh my heavens. Let me see. How about Norma? Hi, Norma.
Gotta unmute yourself.
Yes. I'm Norma and Murphy, and I'm from Pittsburgh in the South Hills, and I am the leader of the South Hills Women's Support Group for Parkinson's. We are for women with Parkinson's only, no caregivers, no men. I'm excited about the fact that since May of last year, we've been meeting twice a month virtually and just went back to our normal 4th Fridays of the month in person last month. And we're going to continue that, but we have picked up a lot of people. I think Debbie or Denise, some of you from the outlying areas of Pittsburgh have been coming to our virtual. And so we're going to continue that on the 2nd Fridays of the month and be hybrid from now on.
Wow, hybrid. Wonderful. Yes, that is high stakes. I know there's a lot that goes into that, so I'd love to talk to you more about that, Norma. Thank you. And who do you popcorn to?
Let's go over to John and Marlene.
We are John and Marlene Paficchio, and we are at Hidden Valley, PA, which is a small ski golf resort about an hour outside of the Pittsburgh area. We help facilitate the Westmoreland County Parkinson's Support Group with 2 other couples. Unfortunately, they could not be here today. So we're excited to be here so we can learn some new strategies and hopefully increase our in-person population. We used to get about 45 to 50 people at our meetings. When we had to go Zoom, we lost many participants. We've been back in person for probably 3 or 4 months, but we've noticed our group is still remaining pretty small, 20 people as opposed to 50. So not to put extra pressure on Shannon and Rachel and Kelly, but boy, we're looking for some good strategies here.
Got it. Yes.
And who do you want to pop it on over to?
How about Casey?
Okay, go ahead.
I did.
Okay, hi, I'm Casey from Parkinson Foundation, Western Pennsylvania. We're located in Bellevue, right outside of Pittsburgh. And I help lead what was formerly the Swickley support group and the Oakland support groups. I guess they still technically are those, but they've both been meeting virtually. So it's been nice to connect. Those groups have been quite small, so trying to keep those numbers up a little bit and keeping people connected. And I'm really looking forward to our event Step Forward. It's really our only event, fundraising event, and that's on October 17th.
Wonderful. Thanks, Casey.
You're welcome. And I'll hand it off, or I'll pop it over to Grace.
Okay, thank you, Casey. I'm Grace Caves, and my husband and I have led the Katanning Support Group. We're in hiatus now. We haven't had an in-person meeting since COVID. Virtual meetings don't work very well with our group because very few people have the capability of doing a Zoom meeting. We currently live in Indiana. I am not happy about fall. I just want to tell you that. I am in mourning, but I am looking forward to continuing some exercise. We go up to an S&T Wellness Center, and it has been very, very good for my husband. The fellow there specializes in Parkinson's. In fact, it was Denise Packer, who put us onto this exercise place. And we do occasionally attend the Indiana Support Group. I'm also in mourning because COVID is still on the rise, and I am extremely frustrated. My daughter-in-law just tested positive, and she's a very, very cautious person, and she's been vaccinated. So I'm a little bit in mourning today because of COVID and because of fall. Sorry for you fall lovers. I do a good job. I do look pretty good. You know, I sort of look like an axe murderer in my sweats and my flannels, but other than that, and I'm glad to participate today. Thank you.
We're glad to have you, Grace. Who do you want to pass it on to?
I want to pass it on to Roger.
I am Roger Jenkins from Rossville, Indiana. I am alive and well today because of PMDA. If anybody can do a million things at once, it is wonderful people. Rachel, Shannon, don't let them kid you. They've got 10 fingers, they use all 15.
Our toes as well.
And I will pass on to Debbie. I caught you with a glass.
Debbie was the first one to go.
Okay.
Who do you choose next?
Alex.
All right, Alex.
Thanks so much, Roger. There are actually 2 of us in the room today. Sorry, our conference room is set up strangely, so we look a little distorted on the screen. My name is Alex. I'm the social services manager here. We are at Pacific Community, a senior living community in Zelienople, Pennsylvania, about 25 miles outside of the city. Chad is one of our exercise specialists, and together we are starting a Parkinson's support group for our residents. I'm going to pass it on to Chad to talk about what he does specific to Parkinson's and his exercise platform.
So I am certified through Delayed Disease and run a Parkinson's exercise class 3 days a week. I have about 9 participants in it that are physically capable of doing the class. I used to have a little bit more, but unfortunately with COVID, that kind of changed things around between people moving on in life or not allowing community people back in, because we are open to the community. So right now, Alex is going, him and I are going to collaborate on taking this on and doing a support group. We've had one probably about 7 years ago when I started working here, but it fell through. It never really picked up. It wasn't really as well supported here as it will be now. So we're just looking to learn how to run a support group, especially me, because of my background in exercise and his background in social work. He's going to be the better man to help with this as well.
Sounds like a great collaboration. Awesome.
And
Thank
it'll
you.
work out. We have a lot of participants here, so a lot
That's
of people asking
fantastic.
for this.
Great. Wow. Exciting. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And popcorning
Yeah.
over. If you can raise your hand if you have not gone yet.
All right, let's go with Alan. He put his hand up first.
Hi, Alan.
Hi,
We're ready for you.
I don't know how I can say all that with 2 minutes.
Or 2 breaths even. That's even less time unless you have huge lung capacity.
My name is Alan from Farmington, Pennsylvania, that's south of Pittsburgh. And I'm a support to the support group leader of our group, very small, close-knit group. And I would like to express my prayers for David Van Hoffen, who's not doing well.
Thank you, Alan. I just joined in.
David,
Hi,
good to hear you.
Welcome, David. So glad that you could join us today.
Oh, thanks, Shannon. It's great to be here.
Oh, we get to see your face too. Hi.
It's great to be on this side of the turf, too.
That's amazing. Oh, looking good, looking good. Would you like to just say a little hello? And maybe some people might not know who you are, David.
Oh, yeah, I'm David Von Hofen. I'm the Director of Programs and Outreach with Parkinson Foundation, Western PA. And thank you, Shannon, for doing this with us again. This is our 3rd time around, right?
Yes, yes, second time virtual, but we had one in person a few years back. So yes, this is number 3.
Yeah, well, it's great to see everybody. Hi, Megan. You're jumping in too. Are you going to take over a group?
We have some guests joining us at the top of the hour. So
Oh, that's right.
he's just a few
Yeah.
early. So nice to have you, Megan. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for having
David.
me.
Yeah, awesome. So we
I think
have,
there's still a few people left.
yeah, I think
So
Liz.
raised her hand, and then we'll need to hear from Melissa and Phyllis if we can.
Yep. Okay, Liz.
Hi, I'm from Pittsburgh. I work at Fair Oaks. It's a senior living facility. It's right off of, it's right off of West Liberty Avenue, right before the Liberty Tunnels, if you guys know where that is, if you're in Pittsburgh. But we had a small support group. We still have a small support group, but COVID kind of, like everybody, ruined numbers kind of. And so we're growing our resident population back. So we're looking to grow our Parkinson's support group back up again and hopefully connect other people. I know before COVID, we were looking to open to the public, but right now we're not really considering that anymore until things clear up a bit more for us. But yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Liz. Glad to have you. Maybe tomorrow we'll get to see your face.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed. Okay. I'm going to help with the popcorn. Over to Melissa, please.
Hi there, I'm Melissa Grinnell. I'm in Meadville, PA, about 90 minutes north of Pittsburgh. I work at Westbury. It's a senior living, senior retirement community, and I'm the new activities director for our independent living residents. I'm new to all of this. I was in the development before. I don't lead the Parkinson group, but several of my residents are in the group. And so I want to learn about it. And so I can be there to support them as well. And I'm happy about fall. It's beautiful here.
Okay. Good, 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 good.
Thank you.
Welcome, Melissa. Let's see if we could hear, I don't think we've heard from John Mazer yet. Can you unmute yourself, John? Are you with us, John? I'm going to ask you to unmute. There you are.
Okay.
Yes.
John Mazer from Menor, Ohio, and we're about 40 minutes from downtown Cleveland. I am actually just getting started. I am Phyllis Hinkle's assistant, and so she's getting me trained here. And our group has been meeting at the Menor Senior Center, but with COVID, we've not been having a meeting. And Phyllis is working very hard with the center, and we're just having trouble getting in there, and they're limiting what they're doing. So she's working very hard at that. Based on what I've heard, I'm going to say I'm not really too excited about the weather change here in Cleveland, but I am excited about the Cleveland Browns, and hearing all these people from Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh. I can't wait. We should have 2 good wins this year against Pittsburgh.
Them are fighting words, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, so good to have you, John. And yes, an Ohio representative.
Roger showing off his Purdue shirt.
Got some sports fans out here. Excellent. Well, welcome, John. Good to have you. And then your partner in crime, Phyllis. Are you able to talk with us today? I'm going to ask you to unmute. I'm not sure if you can say hello. There you are. I think you're on. Oh, let's see. Now you're muted again, Phyllis. I'm going to ask you to unmute, and I'm not sure if your mic is working. We haven't heard you yet. Can you say hello? That might be a troubleshooter, Callie. So, Phyllis, unfortunately, we can't hear or see you. You can always write us something in the chat if there's something that you need to express, and you can also just communicate directly with Kelly. Sorry. Yes, that's frustrating. That's the technology and the patience part that we talked about a little bit earlier. Okay, and I feel like there might be one more person we haven't heard from, or am I wrong? Maybe we got
No, I think we've heard all of our support group leaders. Now we've got our guests.
Okay, well, let us go ahead and start to transition into our roundtable discussion. So I see that we have some of our friends from our pharmaceutical company partners. Welcome, welcome to the NSYNC workshop for Pittsburgh area support group leaders. We also have an Indiana person. We have somebody from a couple of people from Ohio. So it's more regional. And looks like we have maybe 4 or so guests with us today. So what I would love to do for those of you just joining us, so I'm Shannon, and I'm facilitating this workshop along with Rachel and Kelly. So what we're going to be doing right now is having you as representatives of your companies in the area. Hopefully most of you are local to the Pittsburgh-ish area, and that you can connect with these support group leaders so that it's connecting faces to names. And then after the roundtable discussion today, I am going to be providing your contact information to the support group leaders so that they can follow up with you. And if they're interested in having you do talks or having you bring in a doctor to do a talk about your med or your device, then that can be arranged amongst yourselves. So that is our purpose today, and to do the really and talking about topics relevant to our times right now. So I will to call on Megan. So what I would have each of you do is very brief, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to who you are, where you're located, and just like a sentence or two about the company you're working with. And then we will be going to breakout rooms with support group leaders in just a little while. Hi, Megan.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I am local to Pittsburgh. I am the local Boston Scientific DBS therapy consultant. I've been with the DBS for about 10 years. And I know David and I know a lot of the support group leaders just from I'm actually on the board of the Parkinson Foundation and work closely. I see Casey. So one thing about our device is that we have many different options for our device. So we have a rechargeable option, so the battery will actually last 15 plus years. So the patient doesn't have to get the replacements every couple years. And then we also have a primary cell option. So the patients that cannot charge, we offer primary cell, so they could get implanted with our device and then also not have to worry about charging.
Great. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Excellent. Let's popcorn over to Andrew. Hi there. Nice to see you.
Hi there. Thanks so much for giving me the brief chance. And my partner is Jake Smith. So if you want to jump to him right after me, he's our local Abbott representative. But it's great to see you again. I'm our national representative with regards to digital health. And so some unique things about Abbott, similar to Boston Scientific, we also have an implantable pacemaker for the brain for people living with Parkinson's or essential tremor. And our device is virtually connected. So this Zoom call is a similar technology to what we have built into our remote control. Our remote control actually can run on your iPhone. And through that, you can connect with your doctor, and the doctor can make adjustments to your implanted device. So I'm the person who helps nationally introduce this new digital technology. And Jake is our local salesperson helping the whole Pittsburgh area.
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, Jake.
Hey, good to see everybody. I see some familiar faces on here, and but those of you that haven't seen me before, I'm Jake. I'm a local Pittsburgh area representative with Abbott, and I work with Andrew. But we're really excited. We were able to bring remote programming to clinics around the Pittsburgh area back in March and April timeframe, and we're seeing good adoption. Patients are really liking it. They're really excited. So hopefully we could kind of get in and talk with you all and show you guys these devices here soon.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Jake. Next on my screen, I have Bethany.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Bethany. I work for Boston Scientific, and so Megan and I work fairly closely together. I do business development, so we do a lot of activities with support groups, create events with the Parkinson's community. So I live in Charlotte, but I do work closely with Megan, and I am in her territory every so often, and very excited to meet everybody here.
Wonderful. Thanks, Bethany. And then next, I have Joanne on my screen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joanne Dowling. I am the new account executive with AbbVie, and I represent Duopa, which is continuous infusion carbidopa-levodopa. I have a very large territory that extends all of Pennsylvania and into New Jersey, but I'm from the Pittsburgh area. So I'm really looking to connect with some of the support groups out there and just provide patient education, getting the word out about continuous infusion carbidopa-levodopa and how that might be able to benefit some patients out there. Just spreading the good word and working with any type of group possible to get to patients and to get the information into the physician's hands as just an option. So thank you so much for the opportunity to meet everyone and hopefully provide resources in the future.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming today, Joanne. And just a question for each of you, our partners. Do you do both virtual presentations as well as in person. So Joanne, would you like to just say yes, no? if you
Yes,
do
yes,
both?
we can provide both.
Okay, perfect. And then Megan for Boston?
Yes, we can provide both.
Okay, and Andrew for Abbott?
Absolutely. We are very digitally connected.
Yes, we have to work on our toes these days, don't we? So that's wonderful to hear. And just to reiterate this, I'm going to be providing the partners' contact information to you, the support group leaders, following the workshop, so you can be in touch with them directly and get all of the info that you would like.
Great.
Okay, perfect. So I am going to start to share my screen, and then Kelly, she's doing her magic in the background. We're going to be going into breakout rooms in just a little bit. I am going to, let's see, share this. Hopefully you can see my slides. So we have some interesting discussion for our breakout rooms today. So we're going to be talking about two different things, kind of two different sides of the same coin. So for those of you, and it might be a little bit different for each of us, because I know what I've learned so far today is that some of us have gone back in person with our support group meetings. Some of us have not gone back in person. We're still virtual. And then some of us are still on hiatus since before COVID, like Grace said she was. So we're all coming from different perspectives here, but I'd like to address these two ideas. So what do we miss the most about getting back together in person? Or maybe if you have gotten back together, what did you love coming back? Or maybe when you did come back in person, what was different? How did you have to change the ways that you interact with one another? And then on that other side of the coin, what pandemic era invention do you want to keep? So the silver linings, if you will. I know for myself, I have loved being able to connect with people all over the world through Zoom and through various kinds of technology. And so I have friends in Israel and that I talk with so it's like kind of amazing what we've been able to accomplish during this time. So thinking of what has changed during COVID and maybe something that moving into the future, I'd like to actually keep that in my life. Or maybe it's something about prioritizing what's important, So start to let these things percolate. And I am going to put these things in the chat so that you can take those with you when you go into your breakout rooms. So that's another little tip for Zoom. If you go into breakout rooms and you want to have a discussion, you can send the chat prior to separating everybody out, and then they still have access to that chat message and they can refer to that. If you do chat to one another in your breakout rooms, the other breakout rooms don't see that communication going back and forth. So that's just good to know. And it looks like, let's see here. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Oh, I see Joanne has just moved over. I thought we had a new person join us. So we just have, we have twins, Joanne twins.
Wait, I'm getting off.
All right, I'll mute that. Okay. So Joanne, you're going to get off one. We just need to know if okay, perfect. Sometimes we have someone on audio on one screen and then their video is on another, and we have to put them in the same room. So we don't want to split their personality and put them in two different breakout rooms. Okay, so we are going to break into groups of about 4 or 5. Kelly, what do you have right now as far as the breakout rooms go and number of people?
Shannon, you ask a good question.
It's still shuffling.
Well, I've got a question. It looks like Christine joined us.
Okay.
Did I miss an introduction there?
It looks like that is a true statement. So Chris,
I am here.
Hi there.
Hi there. I'm sorry I joined late, but I didn't want to be disruptive. So I'm
problem.
from the foundation.
Okay, you're okay. So
okay.
you work with Casey and David.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay,
Okay,
excellent. Thanks
good
for
deal.
joining us, Christine. We just weren't quite sure. Excellent. So we will put you, we're about to go into breakout rooms. So, yes. All right. So Kelly, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I've got 4 rooms. If you could maybe give me 2 more minutes to get those situated.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So maybe let's take this these couple of minutes and have Christine introduce yourself, just so we know your background and how you are associated with the foundation.
Certainly. My name is Christine Haythorne. I think that most of you probably do know who I am, but I am the CEO of the Parkinson Foundation, and I can't wait to see you guys in breakout rooms. I was really looking forward to doing this training in person, but completely understand why we had to take a step away from that. But we're getting closer, guys. Hang in there. We'll be back in person again soon.
Yes, fingers crossed. We were just
Sigh of relief. That would be great, Christine.
Yes, fingers crossed for sure. And some people are already back in person, and that's going to be very interesting to learn from one another as we move through the workshop. So I feel like we just had someone else. Oh, Joanne, are you joining with the second device? You're muted.
I'm sorry. I keep getting booted off, so I keep trying with a different device, but I think I'll just stick with my phone. I just keep
Okay.
getting booted off. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. All right.
I think we are good to go, Shannon.
Are we good? Okay, perfect. So we're going to break out into our rooms. You'll be sent automatically to your rooms, and I'm going to have 16 or so minutes for us to chat. Please assign a group leader once you're there, so someone can take notes, and then we will get brought back to the main room automatically at the end of that 16 minutes, and we'll do share backs with one another. So that group leader of each room will be the one to share back. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? If I could have like a visual thumbs up or a thumbs down, I don't get it. So thumbs up means yes, I understand what's happening. Okay, looks like we're pretty good. Wonderful. Yes, David is using his emoji. I love it. All right, Kelly. So go ahead and hit that magic button, and I will keep in touch with you and let you know when we're halfway through, and then when we have about 30 seconds left before you're going to be brought back.
Here we go.
All right, have fun, everybody. Hello, welcome back. All right. Hi.
Everybody made it back.
In one piece. Excellent. Very, very good. Okay. Well, I hope that was a nice time visiting with one another. Small group discussions are great for support groups. I'm wondering if you utilize them in your in-person meetings sometimes or on Zoom. I just think they're a great way to really ramp up the connection with one another. Everyone has a chance to speak, which I think is a great thing. So, okay, let us go through our rooms one by one. We can have the leader of each room report back, and we're going to be taking notes. So that you guys can really just think about and listen to one another as opposed to taking notes right now. We're going to provide that to you after the workshop. So let's start with what I have as room number 1, which had Andrew, Casey, Jake, and Melissa.
Yes, good afternoon. So I was lucky enough to have my notepad mostly ready to take notes, and the team allowed me to be our spokesperson.
Perfect.
We, in terms of the things we miss the most, we all acknowledged really, truly that energy and feeling the emotional bonding we get with true face-to-face interactions with people. I personally shared that I'm a hugger. So, my business associates, friends, and family that I'm close with, right? I'm a person that wants that touch. And so missing that touch is a big thing for us, and being able to feel that energy. But we did quickly really flip over to some of the appreciations we have for the necessity of invention. And this meeting is, as an example, having the innovation of Zoom and being able to virtually attend where we can, and the fact that people who have had difficulties getting to some patient support groups before have been able to attend. More people have been getting familiar with using tech and signing up on email lists. Virtual exercise has become a viable option, and more people are attending exercise because it's virtual. It's easy to get to. And selfishly, another favorite one of mine was of course the innovation of DoorDash, and my favorite ramen restaurant now actually uses DoorDash so I can get ramen delivered.
Wonderful. Oh, that's a big one. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Andrew, and for group number one. I think it's what you brought up. It's an interesting contrast, with the technology thing. I think I think Grace was saying that she hasn't met with her group and since COVID, because it's not a group that really has access to a lot of technology. And so it can be a real hindrance in some regards. And then in other regards, it can open up a lot of possibilities that weren't there prior to having Zoom and being able to, be halfway around the world instantly and participate in an event. So it really goes both ways. And it's like, how can we try to help those folks who have less access, or they don't have the know-how, and so that is an ongoing challenge that we face still a year and a half or more later. So thank you. Yes, very good points. Group number one. Let's move to room number two, which had Alan and Bethany and Denise and Genji.
And Liz. I think Liz is in that room too.
Oh, I don't have her there, but
she was, and then I think she may have lost her connection. We weren't able to hear her in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bummer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I was nominated to be the spokesperson in our group. Thank you, Alan. So as far as, what do we miss the most about getting together? We all agreed that, just having the encouragement of others, being in a community where you really feel connected. And there's just, not being in person, it just really, it's just not the same. And I think we miss out on a lot. But just feeling like you have other people to lift you up, and having that community, people to encourage you, at every meeting, to just keep going and to get through this. It's a really tough time, as we all know. So being in person and being able to be around others who are going through the same thing is really great. Zoom is great and all, but being in person, you just cannot replace that. So which brings me to the second question. What is it that we would like to keep, and what positive things have come from the pandemic? And one of the things that was brought up, which I thought was really great, Denise mentioned just like having more knowledge of disease transmission and understanding the whole process, hand washing, just increasing all of those things, just being more cognizant of how things are passed on to each other. So that, and then we talked a little bit about Zoom as well, just that it is, we know that it is almost like a Band-Aid for right now, but I know that's not going anywhere. And we talked about some people being intimidated by Zoom, but and there might still be some people intimidated, they don't want to mess with it, but there are a lot of people who have been able to overcome that. And so now they're very much more tech savvy than they ever thought they might be. So that's a positive.
Mm-hmm.
And then just still being able to connect to each other through Zoom and to talk. And I think Zoom is another reason, we want to keep that, is because there are still going to be people who cannot get out of the house. And so now that everybody's a lot more tech savvy, they'll still be able to join in on calls and support groups and things like that if they can't leave the house, or if they're sick, or if they're on vacation or things like that.
Great. Wow, thanks. Lots of things from that second group there. Yeah, I like that idea of just kind of getting over the hump, with Zoom. It's like you just have to have a little bit of courage to try it. And then once you 1, 2, 3 times, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's not that bad, but it is that intimidation, seemingly so, that it's just inaccessible and not possible for some people, which is heartbreaking. So I always like hearing examples of or instances of people utilizing younger family members or neighbors or teenagers who might live in the neighborhood, to have them as really tech savvy people working with intergenerationally with folks who aren't as comfortable on computers and devices and things like that. So how we might be able to get those two groups of people together and working together, because I think the young folks can get a lot out of interacting with their elders as well. So
Totally agree.
Yeah. So it's just something to continue to think about and to keep trying, encouraging folks who are resistant just to try to get over that hump if possible. Alrighty, thanks to room number 2. Let's go to room number 3 that had Alex and Christine, John, and Norma.
Well, Norma Murphy, not surprisingly, was quite deft at ensuring that I became the scribe of the group. And rather than repeat what others have said, we had much the same comments as the other groups who've gone. One thing, the group was kind of split. We had a lot of people in the group who haven't had experiences on Zoom, so they've been isolated throughout the pandemic, and can't really speak to anything good that came from it. And I would say that those who had the Zoom experience recognize it as, not nearly as effective or good as being in person, but better than nothing. But also noted that the numbers have dwindled on Zoom. So you don't have as robust a group of people connecting in the Zoom programs. And I agree with the learning new technology, where some people struggled with Zoom in the beginning. People are pretty adept, and we're actually getting, folks who are willing to be support group leaders now because they feel more comfortable on Zoom. And just lastly, as an aside, as a little giggle, we were grateful that nobody suggested that not having to wear pants was a good result.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so funny. Or at least wear sweatpants. The no pants. Yeah, that's extreme for sure. That's funny. Thank you, Christine. And room number 3, there were a few things that popped out to me in regards to being on Zoom or in person. And one thing I was curious to kind of get a sense from the group. With Zoom, we can see each other's faces. We can see the facial expressions and the whole face, rather than being in person and being safe with a mask on. And so what's worse? You get those energy in-person vibes when you're in person, but then, like Andrew was saying, you're not touching anybody. You have to stay far apart. You don't see smiles. It's much more masked and covered up. And so, there are positives, negatives to both sides of that.
And one more thing, Shannon, to your point.
Yeah.
We have had some folks who are very, very soft-spoken, and they would get lost in a room in person but somehow on Zoom, they were able to communicate better with the group, and that was a positive as well.
That's great. And utilizing breakouts is even another way to ensure that everyone is heard. If you have a larger group and you can't get everybody to speak in a larger setting, then you can break it into smaller. Good point. But yes, and I don't know about you all, but there's this Zoom fatigue factor where there's so many options of programs and webinars every day. And it's just like, my eyes are bugging out. I feel like my vision is going because I've been online and on Zoom for so many hours this past year and a half. Are you all feeling the same way, that maybe numbers are dropping, dwindling because the novelty is wearing off of being on Zoom, and just like they're tired of being online and being in this space? So just something to think about as far as why numbers could be dwindling as well. And one other thing, it's great to hear Christine say that folks who are feeling more adept and getting used to being online and more confident, that I do have a series of trainings that I provided support group leaders specifically this past year that were recorded. And so I have like a library of how to run a Zoom meeting as a support group leader. And so if anyone is interested in those things, just please let me know. It's available on our website as well. Excellent. Thank you, Christine. And room number 3. Let's go to number 4, which had David and Debbie, Grace, Joanne, and Phyllis. Yes, Phyllis.
I volunteered to be the secretary for this one. Basically, we discussed it and we come up with the same ideas that you did, but in person, it seems you're able to read each other's body language. You're able to share our resources, hand out pamphlets, pictures. When we have a guest speaker, it's easier for them to show us their products that they're bringing to our meetings or whatever. One of the ladies suggested or said that virtual can be frustrating because of the technology problems. A lot of us are older and don't know how to get through the problems with internet. Or Phyllis, I think PJ Hinkle had her grandson come and bring a microphone, so she was able to speak with us. Just little things like that. If something goes wrong with the technology, I don't know what to do. I wouldn't have anyone to ask. PJ, I think it was, said if we were live and we were meeting together, we'd have excellent food, where we don't have that virtual. I think Grace was the one that said some facilities are a little shy about having us even meet at their facility because of COVID. When we're in person, we can share with each other and see each other's body language more so than virtual. Let me see. I do think too, when we meet in person, we always greet each other before the meeting, do our personal talks, and then after the meeting, we kind of go in our own little breakout groups and discuss what the meeting was about, ask about each other's lives, and carry on that way. And we get more personal with each other than we do through this virtual. We kind of went off track then, and I talked to Joanne about the continuous infusion. So we kind of went off base there a little bit. But basically, we come up with the same suggestions and ideas everybody else did.
Right. Not surprising. We're all going through similar situations. So yes, a couple of things popped out to me, Debbie, in that in an in-person meeting, you can get pamphlets, hard copy, paper information, and some people are just paper people. And they're going to read something from beginning to end because it's in their hand and you get to really see it and feel it. And they may not be as attentive to that information if it was just a PDF or just something like a website. And so that, I think it's just kind of how we all learn and how we all prefer to read information. So that's interesting there. And then I just thought too, how could we replicate that small talk? The casual interactions that happen in an in-person scenario, how can we replicate that on Zoom? And maybe you could run a regular Zoom meeting and then reserve 15 minutes to do breakouts, and then just have Zoom randomly pick people to talk with one another. Or even now, Zoom is so advanced, people can choose which room they want to go into, and they can move from room to room if they want to talk to different people. But that could provide that opportunity for small talk and the casual interactions, and you don't feel like you're on display and you have to say something, you know, according to an agenda, you know, in the meeting, that kind of thing. So a little more complex for sure, and might take a little bit of tutorial, you know, training and with folks, but it could be considered. So excellent. Well, thanks, Debbie. And room number 4. Let's move to our final room number 5. We had John and Marlene and Megan and Roger.
Hi, they chose me to be to speak about the group.
All right, Megan.
So we are mimic a lot of the different events too that we already had about handshaking, energy, that everyone misses being in person. Hidden Valley did go back to in person. What they are seeing though is the numbers have dwindled. They're decreased, and they don't know why. Is it the people maybe are scared still of COVID, which is understanding, or they did say the benefit for Zoom is some patients, you know, are far away and they didn't have to travel before, they couldn't get there. The Zoom did give them that benefit. What they're asking though, because I said, well, what do you guys need from now? One would be like a hybrid approach to where they have a meeting, then offer a Zoom to someone to help them set that up. And then also strategies to get everyone back to the meeting in person whenever they feel comfortable. They did try to do an outdoor event at summer picnic, and it's still, people were not coming. So they're just trying to engage the people, just to experience everything that goes on with the support group, exercise, all the different therapies that are available.
Got it. Yes. Okay. That concept of hybrid, I think it's really kind of a hot topic globally, and how maybe that's just something that in the future, that's the wave of the future, is hybrid. Unfortunately, it's kind of complicated if you want to do it well. If you just want super basic, you know, you can have a laptop open in the room, but there's not going to be an interaction between the Zoom people and the in-person people. I mean, you need microphones, you need cameras on both ends, and you need, like, you know, facilitators taking care of the in-person and the online. So it can get really complex. My suggestion has been to do both kinds of meetings, but separately. So that maybe if you have a guest speaker that you're really excited about, you could do that on Zoom. And that person can be literally anywhere in the world. And then anyone can sign in to that Zoom meeting. And then those more social engagement, emotional support type meetings, you could do in person. And so perhaps you could do 2 Zoom meetings a month and then 1 in person or something like that, or 1 and 1, and switch off, as opposed to trying to be a superstar facilitator and try to manage basically 2 different meetings happening at the same time. Like I know I don't want to try to do that. And so, I mean, I do have a plan to offer some sort of hybrid training for support group leaders within hopefully another month or 2. I've been meaning to do this. And as COVID changes and we go from in-person back to online, it's pushed it back. But that has been my suggestion. And I've actually heard from other leaders in the community. So like Dance for PD, if you know David Leventhal, that is also his suggestion, is to do both kinds of meetings and do them separately. So that makes me feel more confident in my feeling about it, just so that no one feels left out. There's nothing worse than coming to a meeting and not feeling seen, and so, or heard. And so how can we best serve everyone, would be our objective. So yes, strategies to get people back. Tomorrow in our agenda, we're going to be talking about dynamic and engaging meetings and how to kind of get people excited again. So let's kind of focus on that subject tomorrow, and maybe overnight we can also be thinking about that as well. Wonderful. Okay.
I just want to bring up in the chat, Norma put something that I think is interesting and truthful for many of us, is that Zoom offered so many opportunities that when it came to like programs, it's like Norma felt that she had an obligation to be at all of them because they were online and she could sit in her living room and do them. But really, like, it took a lot of time to figure out that you can't do all of it, you know, and you've got to pick and choose what's important to you. And I think that's great because that sort of leads into the activity that I'll be doing. So let's sort of put a pin in that and think about the importance of what's important anymore to us. You know, things have changed in the last year and a half.
Absolutely, that Zoom fatigue is real. And one just quick suggestion that I have heard is to utilize audio only sometimes, so that you're not always on video, because it's very energy consuming to be seeing all these eyeballs and to try to like, it's hard for your brain to take in all of these cues and to try to understand, you know, digest it. And so I have heard that you don't always have to have your video on, and you don't have to be within this tiny square. You know, you can move around, you can be a real human. And so that could be a way to take a break, to still hear and engage and learn, but you're not restricted to this robot box, which is so exhausting for hours. Great. Well, that was so much information, and Rachel and Kelly, I'm sure, have been taking notes, and so that will be provided to you at the end of the workshop. Any last thoughts, wrap-up thoughts before we say thank you to our guests that we had? Okay, yes. Okay, we're about that time where we need a little bit of a break. Speaking of, we need to stand up and you know, go to the bathroom and get a drink of water and take a minute away from the computer. So on that note, I would like to say thank you to Jake, Megan, Andrew, Joanne, and Bethany. I think I got you all. Yes, and yes, looking forward to staying in touch with you and having you all, you know, stay connected after the workshop.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So how about we take a break, everyone? How does, let's see, 5 after? How does that sound? So it's about 8 minutes or so. Yeah, we can reconvene in 8 minutes. So you can go ahead and turn your video off, mute your computer or mute your mic, and then we'll all return at 5 after. Stretch your bodies, get some water.